doing is CC9 Persuade with Power. His project objectives are persuade listeners to adopt your viewpoint or ideas or to take some action. Appeal to the audience's interests. Use logic and emotion to support your position. Avoid using notes. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to Arjun. Over to you. Thank you.
Arjun, religion of education. Religion of education.
12th standard was academically a very bizarre experience for me. There was especially one subject which was very valuable, that was chemistry. It was my pre-board exam. The pre-board exam is the last exam before the final board. It's sort of a preparatory exam before the final board exams. I had done my exams well and I received my answer scripts. I got 40% on my chemistry paper. Now my parents got very scared. 40% right before a board exam was something catastrophic. But I looked at the paper and I saw that many of the things I had written were actually correct. But the only thing I was penalized for was not writing the exact same lines which were there in the textbook. Now, there was this one question which horrified me the most. The question was, draw the chemical structure of phenol. I had drawn that slightly differently and I was penalized for it. To give an analogy, it is the same as saying, writing 4 like this is wrong because it's written like this in the textbook. Now, I was outraged. I went to the teacher and I protested. I said, this was also a right way to write 4. But she told me, don't come to me with such rubbish. And I went to my father. He is a major in chemistry. I showed him my paper. He understood that I was correct. But he also said, why are you playing? Why are you playing around like this just before your board exam? Why can't you simply write what is there in the textbook? But the board exams were approaching and all this pressure got to me. And I didn't understand. I didn't exactly understand a few things in chemistry and I didn't want to blatantly memorize everything. But I needed the marks. So I sat and I memorized completely a few days before the board exam and I got 97% in my chemistry course. A worthless 97%. Now, it was actually better for me because I actually knew that writing 4 this way was okay too. But there were some people at school who actually believed in our school teacher and believed in our education system and thought that this was the only way to write 4 and this was a wrong way. That is the insidious thing about our education system. It not only makes sure that memorizing is an easy way to get marks, it makes sure that memorizing is the only way you can get high marks. Now, our education system has become so much about memory that students these days are given a set of questions and answers they need to memorize and simply reproduce on the paper to get marks. High marks don't mean anything anymore. Just last week, there was a political science topper in Bihar and she was asked, what is your subject about? And she said political sciences is about cooking. And there was an English topper in Delhi who was interviewed about her success and she couldn't form 2 sentences in English. Now, this is not just a problem which starts and ends at school. This problem of memorizing and being spoon-fed stays with us. And this problem is why some people who have memorized their way through school cannot solve problems, cannot think on their own because they have been trained not to think. So there is an apt story in Indian history which solves this problem of memorization. And long time ago in India, there was a king. His name was Kong. And there was a minister. This minister was known as Medley. Both of them had sons. Kong's son was Bong and Medley's son was Medley. In this kingdom, there were 2 religions which were predominantly followed. One, religion of memoryism and learninganity. Now, King Kong was a strict follower of memoryism. And so he made all the teachers also follow memoryism and all the students were made to memorize all the subjects so that they followed memoryism. But Minister Medley, he was an ardent follower of learning amity, and he made sure that his son followed the principles of learning amity, and there were just 3 principles of learning amity. The first principle was that to put learning and understanding of concepts, sub-concepts, above blatant memorization. Number 2, to find and search and find good teachers and good books and good resources which can help you with this understanding. And number 3, to memorize only when it is absolutely necessary, such as the birth date of your friend, perhaps. Medley never asked his son for his report card. Instead, he would ask his son what you had learned in school. But King Kong was not like that. King Kong wanted his son to be the topper of boards, and he made his son memorize the textbook top to bottom and recite it like a Sanskrit shloka. And indeed, Prince Bong became the topper in his board exams. And one day, Prince Bong had to become the king. He had no idea how to do it. When Bong became the king, he went to his father and asked, "Father, give me a textbook. Give me a textbook which I can memorize, which says how to rule a country." And his father was flabbergasted. He had no idea what to do. But the country ran with the new minister Smedley's help. People saw Smedley as an inspirational leader and a problem solver. And they thought Smedley would make a better king, even though he had lesser vote marks than Prince Bong. And so Smedley was elected the king, and he ruled successfully for years to come. Unfortunately, over centuries, memoryism has prevailed again, and now we are in an education system, we are in a system filled with the Kongs and Bongs. Our education system has now become a factory which just manufactures goods, and it is now our responsibility to make sure that Minister Medley's legacy rises again. Now, I know that religion is a taboo topic here, but I ask you to support me in abolishing the religion of memoryism and spread the principles of learning amity. Thank you.